After 3 days of rain, Monday through Wednesday, totaling 10 inches, we had an additional 20 inches in 12 hours from Thursday midnight through Friday noon. In addition to all the rain, on Friday morning, the wind from Hurricane Helene started. We were experiencing 30 to 40 miles per hour sustained winds, with gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Shortly after the wind started, we lost power. Little did we know that we would be out of power for 13 days. All that rain had nowhere to go. The creeks and ditches were overflowing, so the water was running down the road. As we will see, this caused immense damage to the road. There was a lot of damage to Carolina Hills Drive, which is our community's only access. This video will concentrate on 7 major issues. These are only the major issues that are readily visible. There are several places where the road edge is eroding and other areas where the creek may be undercutting the road. Some of the areas can't be evaluated until all the debris is cleared. The first major area of concern is a washout at the intersection of Rocky Trail and Carolina Hills Drive.
I know. That's probably our power problem.
Prior to the hurricane, the culvert was completely covered with gravel. The large rocks were washed downhill about 2 feet. Prior to the storm, they were arranged nicely on the side and top of the end of the culvert.
It moves those big boulders, Mama. Be careful. Be careful. Pat, I don't know what these lines are, so be careful with them. Is it this bad on the way down? Oh, goodness.
The second major area of concern is at the entrance to 94 Carolina Hills Drive. This area was the deepest and widest road washout.
Oh, this is just ridiculous. I mean, I don't even know how you go about. You got to have big rock to fill before you even get to trying to figure out what to do with the road. Oh goodness. So I'm trying to figure out, this is going to be a long time. And we just put in a whole house generator. But I don't want to be running it because I'm going to run out of gas, propane. The propane truck ain't going to get up here. So we're going to have to figure out how to, we're going to have to figure out how to conserve as much as we can on that too. Is there a way to go out there? I don't know. Right. Well, of course. Well, not only that, you.
The third major area of concern is the major mudslide from 94 Carolina Hills Drive that covered the road and flowed across it into the creek. The mud covering the road was so deep and soupy that the guys would sink up to the top of their knees in it. One of our neighbors needed to get further down the road to check on another property. He had to lay down branches to keep from sinking in the mud. The fourth area of major concern is at 91 Carolina Hills Drive. The large culvert and the driveway across the creek to the house was completely washed away. This is causing the edge of the road to erode where the driveway used to be. Prior to the hurricane, there was a large 5-foot culvert in the creek, large boulders on the sides and above it, to support a driveway to the house off-screen, to the right. After the hurricane, the culvert and the boulders were gone. Our neighbor said that he was concerned about the storm and the creek rising, so he moved his car to a safe place. Unfortunately, he was not able to move his truck, so it will be stranded for some time. The fifth area of concern is at 92 Carolina Hills Drive, where another mudslide occurred. The sixth area is comprised of several locations along the road where small mudslides occurred, filling the ditches. The last major area on Carolina Hills Drive is the steep section below 86 Carolina Hills Drive. This is a very steep section of the road that is prone to washouts, especially along the edges. Those were the major areas of damage to Carolina Hills Drive. Many of the neighbors banded together and worked with whatever tools they had to clear a path so that we could get out. Those who had them used chainsaws to clear trees from blocking the road. Many of the neighbors used shovels and dug mud by hand to clear about a 30-foot section of road that was covered in 3 feet of very wet mud. After 4 days of hard work, the road was cleared enough to be passable, but it is not very safe. Although Carolina Hills Drive sustained a major portion of damage, Rocky Trail was blocked by fallen trees. Three large oak trees had uprooted and fell, blocking Rocky Trail. I was going to try and trim some branches to at least clear a walkway, so we wouldn't have to go up the hill and through the woods to get around the fallen trees. I quickly figured out that I was going to need my larger chainsaw, so I went back to the shop to get it. When I got back, I was met by Stephen and Grace, who had come up to help me. Stephen was a big help. His chainsaw was a little larger than mine, and he was able to clear some of the higher branches for me. It wasn't long before a few more of our neighbors came by to help. We really appreciated all the help from our neighbors. With several chainsaws and extra help, it didn't take long to have the driveway cleared. It was wonderful to see that in the midst of the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, our community pitched in and helped each other, making sure everyone who needed help were helped. And after 4 days of being isolated, it was nice to have the roads cleared enough to get out. A few days after the road was cleared, we were surprised by this chainsaw crew from South Carolina. Our pastor, Doug Rains, had not heard from us since communications were down after the hurricane, so he sent this crew up to check on us. We were fine, and our road was clear, but there was one neighbor that still had a tree down blocking their driveway. They were happy to clear it and got right to work. In the description, there is a link to a video that shows these guys working hard to clear the tree for our neighbor.